Okay, let's start here. Netflix paid the big bucks to get their hands on The Witcher and all of its encompassing world. They paid Henry Cavill a tidy sum of money to play the titular character. $3.2 million, in fact, for the first season alone. They wanted him as Geralt of Rivia. Can't blame him. He played it to perfection. He was perfectly cast. It was something he wanted to do, something he coveted. It was a rare opportunity when you get two things that collide just like that. Now, they spent approximately $10 million per episode just to get that first season out there, somewhere between 70 and 80 million bucks. They spent money on it for a reason. It was a proven commodity, a real winner in the fantasy genre. But the plan didn't stop there. No, not at all. The world needed to expand quite a bit in order for this to pay off. And so 4 other shows went into development. We are just now seeing the results of the second one, or almost. Blood Origin will join us in the very near future. We're going to talk about what's likely to be, well, and is somewhat described as very undercooked and unsatisfying as far as a spin-off goes. It arrives on December 25th as a Merry Christmas from Netflix. Not sure I want this present. Let's dive into it. Here we go. So, the early reviews are not encouraging. I'm sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The show seems to reek of many of the things that fans have complained about in the main series, especially in Season 2. It strays well beyond the bounds of the lore, and it in fact, potentially, changes it. At least to some extent, anyway. This is a long-running bone of contention for fans, and of course Henry Cavill is among them. Deviating from the source material, real problem. And if you could serve up the perfect identitarian casting to satisfy any SJW, this show would be it. But that's not really the problem here. So I set myself to checking all the usual suspect sites, all the ones where you would get the shill-tastic responses for the most part. I have to say, I was surprised. Happily. They didn't have many positive words for this show at all. They actually seemed to take it apart fairly deftly. And if you are wary of spoilers, at this point, be warned, there are more than a few upcoming very soon. Now, let's start with Polygon's headline as one of those, regular sources, right? The Witcher Blood Origin isn't a great sign for a post-Henry Cavill future. Yikes. That is bad. They follow that up with their sub-headline, which isn't any better. There are no rules and very little Witcher in this miniseries. Not high praise. It's really not sounding very good. So let's get on to the article, at least as far as the conclusion, because I'm not going to read the middle bits, because they're all going to be very similar, which is surprising, as I said before. But here's the conclusion to that particular article, just to sum up. A world with no defining fantasy characteristics, a multiverse even Michelle Yeoh can't rescue. It is a textureless world populated by generic archetypes fighting to get from point A to point B because the plot wills it. The problems are deeper than not having a star to root the world in. The Witcher Blood Origin ultimately falls victim to the risk of any multiverse, and there are many, runs when it too greedily expands, losing what makes it special. I agree with that. Blood Origin has no time for consideration of what makes the Witcher universe unique or meaningful at all, leaving it as just a muddled, reckless attempt to get more Witcher stuff out the door. If there's hope For The Witcher to survive losing a star and build itself into a bigger universe, it's going to have to make a better case than this. I could not have written that any better myself. Whew, tearing that apart. What's interesting is even the vaguely positive reviews about this, and again, I went and looked at a lot. The complaints about this are consistent. They're surprisingly consistent. They talk about the pacing, the story itself, the content that is in the story, which is full of exposition with little to show or tell. And those are all the major complaints. There's not much to this. Lots of sitting around tables and talking. I'm sure there's more to it. Supposedly there's some great fight scenes. And of course, Michelle Yeoh kicks booty, but you would expect that, correct? It's funny because it seems that Declan DeBarra and obviously Lauren Hissrich, they produced quite a convoluted mess. That's the takeaway that I have from all of these reviews. Tech Radar complains that the larger puzzle pieces don't slot together. In fact, Tom Power over at Tech Radar says or suggests that watching The Irishman on Netflix is a better way to fill 3 hours. Once again, not high praise. Collider complains that too many characters are there and there's not enough time spent on any of them. And that's another complaint. The show was slated for a total of 6 episodes and was cut down to 4. And it doesn't sound like they edited out the right bits. Another of the complaints is that the 2 characters that actually do receive some focus in the story are the least compelling. Collider even goes as far to say that the relationship there just doesn't land. And I have to say, all of the descriptions kind of call out like how there's no heat there. There's the flirtive glances and a lot of things that come out of nowhere for no reason and then seem to vanish. Supposedly not a standalone show. In other words, you can't easily jump into this without having some background from the previous show. If you don't have background in the original show, you're going to be quite lost, at least according to everybody here. And of course, the worst is yet to come. The description of the events that the fans really would want to see, the conjunction of spheres and the creation of the first Witcher, it seems like rather a letdown. It's probably the nicest way to say it. Having not seen this show as of yet, I'm going to say this: I'm not going to see it. I have no interest in seeing it. I might also suggest that the team that is being assigned to write and produce content for any of these Witcher shows specifically, they clearly are not engaged with the content at all. They're not conversant in it, or they just seem to not care. And that speaks towards this idea that a lot of the writers have disdain for the source material. I think there's certainly too much agenda in the way that decisions are being made for these shows because it's quite transparent. I would suggest that anybody that's assigned to any of these things in the future begin with something like maybe Red Shoe Diaries. That might be somewhere to start, get a little experience there. And then maybe they can move on through the various, Cinemax fare, like the Skinemax stuff, the late night stuff. That'll give them some much needed experience, I would think. And obviously, they're really not prepared for some very lore-driven material. I think you need some experience before you dive into that. It really could only help. But I'm actually quite curious if there are any of you out there that are interested in seeing this new show coming out on December 25th, Witcher Blood Origin. Based on the reviews, if you go and read them for yourself, you don't have to. I kind of summarized like most of them, but you can. Are you interested in seeing this? I'm curious. Please leave the comments that you have down below. I'd love to read them. I really would. If you guys are stoked about this Witcher spinoff. It's the second one. The first one was animated. I guess we're headed in. We got 2 more to come on top of the supposedly 7-season arc of The Witcher. I don't think they're going to make it past 5. That's just me. Anyway, like I said, please use the comment section down below. I can't wait to read these. I really can't. With that, be sure to support other independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely deserve it. You can really impact a channel, including this channel, by merely being subscribed, hitting the bell for notifications, commenting because it drives engagement, hitting the like button, of course, and sharing the content. That really, really helps. Makes channels grow, and I appreciate when you do it. And, you know, social media can be used for a good thing there. Even Twitter can be. Obviously, with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.